Are you terrified of being seen as the bad daughter? Is the good girl script running your life? Are there ways you've shrunk yourself so that you fit into the expectations of what everyone else wants? Hello and welcome to Masala Podcast. I'm Sangeeta Pillai and this is the Bad Daughter miniseries. What is a bad daughter? A bad daughter is someone who challenges patriarchy, talks about taboo topics, doesn't take no for an answer. And guess what? This season, I'm going to get more personal, even more personal than I've ever done before. Are you ready, my bad daughters?
Besharam, Badtameez, Gandhi, hi, bad beti.
In this episode, we're talking about the good girl versus bad daughter conundrum. Are you constantly minimizing yourself? Are you fitting yourself into other people's expectations of what you should be? I'm here to tell you that you can throw that good girl script right out of the window. Because once you get into your bad daughter energy, you see who you really, really are. Are you ready? So how did it all begin for me? I want to tell you a little story. I was maybe, 3 or 4 years old. And I was having a bath in the little bathroom of the slum house that we lived in. I came out naked. And as soon as I came out, I heard my mother shouting at me, "Good girls don't run around naked." And I still remember that sense of shame that went through my body. I was 4 years old. I didn't even understand it. So the good girl thing starts very, very early. It did for me. There were so many rules. Good girls don't talk back. Good girls obey their parents. Good girls come home early. Good girls get nice, safe jobs. That's when I started to challenge this whole idea of the good girl. A good girl is nice. A good girl is sweet. A good girl answers your questions, but never too loudly. Never in a way that makes anyone uncomfortable. A good girl swallows her opinions, keeps her thoughts locked up so tight that even she can't hear them sometimes. A good girl is always polite. A good girl always smiles. A good girl is serene. A good girl is calm, even if there are rivers of revolution running through her blood. And believe me, every good girl hears the whispers of revolt. What does this mean for you? I'm here to tell you that it's not just South Asian culture that forces us to be these good girls. Every culture wants you to be the good wife, the good sister, the good girlfriend, the good colleague, the good, I could go on and on. What is the price that we pay to fit into these roles? I've got some stats for you. There's something called the Good Girls Report. I'll put a link in the show notes, which says 56% of women feel pressure to be likable versus 36% of men. 65% of women feel like being liked is core to their character, that it's important. Half of all women hold back their opinions. 35% of women want to try to smile more because they want to be liked. Isn't that crazy? You see, we're constantly trying to change ourselves, and that leads to a lifetime of denying ourselves, of burning out, of just spending your entire energy being liked by other people. How did I work my way out of this good girl straitjacket, as I call it? Well, it's to do with my mother. She had the most awful life of any woman I know. She was battered by my father. She was eventually murdered. And yet she spent her entire life being the good daughter, the good wife, the good sister, the good everything. And it didn't serve her at all. So seeing her made me determined to, in many ways, be the opposite, be the bad daughter, be the proud bad daughter. And it's led to some amazing things. I've moved halfway across the world. I've had 3 amazing careers. I have this wonderful life in London. It's put me on the covers of magazines. It's put me on like these billboards. It's given me like loads of awards. So being the bad daughter is something that I'm really proud of how far I've come, because I refused to be somebody's wife or somebody's mother or somebody's girlfriend, and I wanted to be entirely myself. So what can you do to get out of this whole good girl thing, to own your life, to make your decisions, to have the life you really want? I've got a few little tips for you if you want to take a piece of paper and write them down. Ask yourself, which good daughter rules did you learn growing up? Which of these rules still influence your life today? What price have you paid for following these rules? What dreams have you sacrificed? What desires have you let go of? Which parts of yourself have you set aside to remain good? Then I'd say choose one good daughter rule that you are ready to question. Put that down on a piece of paper, and I would say tear it up. See how good that feels. I see being a bad daughter as a good thing. A bad daughter refuses to follow rules. In fact, she follows her own beat. She walks her own path. This path could be uncharted. Its bends steep, its twists wild. A bad daughter seeks out those unexpected places. Places that only exist in her dreams, fleeting between sleeping and waking. And if a daughter is brave enough to be called a bad daughter by the world, if she has the courage to shut out the world and only hear the call of her spirit, then she gets to claim the ultimate prize, the power to be her most magnificent self. I'm going to share a chapter from my book, Bad Daughter, which you can buy. It's about the time I got totally drunk. I was a proper bad daughter. So here goes. Chapter's called Getting Drunk. I was fading in and out of consciousness. I felt sick to my stomach, and yet also a sort of delirious happiness. I was drunk. I couldn't move my body, but I felt like I could fly. I'd never tasted alcohol before. I'd only seen people on TV and in movies drink it. I knew it was a very bad thing for sure. But for me, for a young girl, this would be termed as the first step to eternal ruination. So I was determined to try it. I decided to just go for it. My best friend Aarti, who now lived in another city, was back in Bombay. She had a much more glamorous life of boyfriends and parties and sexual fumbles and booze. So many stories about the booze and how much fun it all was. So when she came up with a plan to help me try my first taste of this illicit boozy pleasure, I said a yes, a big loud yes. We got ourselves ready and went to her friend's house, lining up all the alcohol we had managed to procure on the way there. I thought I might never get another chance to do this again. I took a cautious sip of beer. It was so disgusting that it made me gag. Then I opened up a bottle of Old Monk rum. It's what we all drank in those days. And mixed it with one of my favorite drinks, Thumbs Up. Just as Aarti showed me, I drank it all up, finishing the whole glass in a few seconds. Then Aarti asked me if I wanted to try vodka. Now that sounded so sophisticated. I imagined characters from a Russian novel, like Anna Karenina, reclining languorously on a plush chair covered with silk cushions, sipping vodka. So I definitely wanted to try it. And I did, mixing it with another soft drink. My spirits soared and I was laughing at every one of Arthi's jokes. My mind was flying off in all these happy directions, thinking that when I was older, I'd drink alcohol all the time. This was so much fun. No wonder people like to drink. Over the next hour, I drank them all. Dark rum, vodka, even the beer, which now didn't taste so bad anymore. The alcohol fizzed through my body, making my head spin, and promptly making me laugh out loud at nothing in particular. I was happy. I was loving life. And then I started to feel a little bit queasy. As the bile rose in my throat, some of the hurtful things that Amma had said to me during our various fights began to rise up too. "I wish you'd never been born," she said one time. "I should never have had you," another time. "I gave up my life for you, and this is how you repay me?" Her words hurt in the deepest parts of my soul, and they still do even today. Though I now understand she was, like me, in a place of pain. The pressure from my mother and from traditional Indian society to be that good Indian girl felt like a physical force. It bound my legs, making my movements small and stuck. It stuck sticky black tape across my mouth. It tied my hands behind my back, so I couldn't reach for anything. I felt stuck in my body, in my life, in the world. So here I was today, being the bad daughter, drinking all the booze. By now, the bile was churning in my stomach, burning up my throat. I dashed to the toilet and threw up, over and over again. I remember thinking, how could something that made me feel so happy make me feel so miserable so quickly? With my head stuck in the toilet bowl, I felt angry at my mother. After all the violence she'd experienced with my father, how could she still want the same things for me? "Can't you see what you're doing?" I wanted to shout at her, even though she wasn't here. That day, even while I was throwing my guts up after mixing all those drinks, I knew one thing. I couldn't stop fighting to become the person that I wanted to be. I was fighting for myself, but I was also fighting for all the other women in our society, women he'd been told to shut up and put up, including my mother. So I kept going and going on that bad daughter journey, but I never drank like that again. If you enjoyed that extract, you'll love my book, Bad Daughter. It's about my story going from the slums of Mumbai to the billboards of New York via a healing stopover in Kerala. It's about the pressure that all women face to be good girls. My readers love it. Here are some of the things they tell me. "This is the best book I've ever read," says Hattie. "This book made me cry, but also made my heart sore," says Archana. "Your book made me think of my own inner voice and the stories I tell myself," says Caroline. So go to baddaughter.co.uk or type Bad Daughter on Amazon. I invite you to tap into your bad daughter energy. Go deep inside yourself and find that feisty soul that you know you are. Stand tall, take up space, because the bad daughter doesn't seek permission. She is fully, completely herself, because she knows that the minute she stops trying to please everyone else, she can embody her truest spirit and become the one thing that scares the world, fully herself. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Masala Podcast. Come tell me about it. I'm on Instagram as Soul Sutras. I'm on TikTok as Masala Podcast. And if you loved it, share it. Share it with your mum, share it with your sisters, share it with your friends. I've also got a Bad Daughter course on my website on baddaughter.co.uk. I promise you it's fun. Imagine a week in lush tropical Kerala, eating gorgeous food, surrounded by the sisterhood. Welcome to the anti-retreat, where it's all real. Real spirituality, real sisterhood, real Kerala food, real visits to sacred temples. Your money supports local Kerala women, so you'll be making a real difference. This is all part of my retreat in February. Go check out baddaughter.co.uk/Kerala retreats.